Hi everyone. I know you've probably... Have you seen me this week? I don't think you have. I did try and film yesterday, and I did put together a vlog to go up on Friday, which is today. I think you'll hopefully see this Monday. And just before I laid down, I think I was lying down, I was like, I'm not happy with what was going to go up. So I took it off being scheduled and put it on private. So I tried to film a video basically. I went somewhere and I was running late because of traffic, and then I didn't immediately start filming because I just didn't feel up to it. I didn't really want to. So I then decided to start filming, but the sun was on me, the sun was too bright, I looked hideous. I felt like my hair looked greasy, but it didn't look greasy because I'd only washed it like the Tuesday night and it was like Thursday afternoon. But I just weren't happy with how I looked, and then I put the phone on my leg and I was like talking away, and then I had to get out, and then I carried on filming as I was walking. But then there was loads of people around, there was someone walking behind me, there was people across the road, and because it weren't like a normal width of street, it was like kind of narrow. I'm like, I don't want to like walk along talking when it's obviously like, I know I've got my phone in my hand, but it would have been obvious that that I weren't on the phone. Anyway, so then last night I was like, oh, I'll just film a bit more to add to it, but I weren't on camera. I was just like, I put it down on the desk and was showing you random things that I bought, but I couldn't show you much because apparently for once in my life I'd put most of it in my room or wherever it belongs, so I wasn't showing you much. Then I went up to my bedroom to did I get changed? No, I was already changed. I went up for something. I sat on my bed talking on camera, but it was just like the most random video. Not that these ever really make much sense anyway, they're always a bit random. But then I still put it together and I still uploaded it and scheduled it. But then like my final thought before lying down was like, yeah, I'm not happy with that video. So I just basically did not put the video up. So that's why you missed the video on Friday, basically. I mean, tomorrow's, I don't even think I've uploaded it. Well, Saturdays, because obviously this is going to up Monday. Saturday should be the food haul where I unbox it. Yeah, it's not even uploaded. I don't know why I've not uploaded. And Sunday will be last Friday's food. Not last Friday's for you, but the Friday before. Because last Friday for you, if you're watching this on Monday, will be today, but the Friday before. Because I'm always a week ahead with the food haul. And I like it that way because it's just in case, like, say I wasn't able to go shopping today, or I just forgot to film the food, or I weren't well enough to film the food haul, then at least I know I've got a video. So hopefully, like, I'll manage to do some filming today. I feel tired all of a sudden. Like, I don't know how much sleep I had. It's saying I've had 7 hours sleep. Do you know what? It feels like it was less than that. But yesterday, God. Well, I'm not going to talk about my entire week right now. Well, I'm not going to talk about, like, even if I had time, I'm not going to go into everything from my week. But I've had a long, busy week and I've been ill. I don't feel as bad as I did, and I didn't get super ill. Like, I'm not going to complain. Like, I have felt worse, but it was literally the worst week. It was the worst week for me to get sick. But there's someone who keeps getting sick and they don't try and get rid of the illness, and they're coughing and sneezing everywhere, and they're not very hygienic about it, so then I end up catching stuff. And luckily I didn't get mega ill, but I felt crappy for days. On the first day I was freezing cold. The second day, later on the day I was hot but cold. Then the next day I was too hot. Oh no, day 1 I was too hot. Day 2 I was too cold, but later on I was too hot. Then the next day I was in between both. Then yesterday I felt better than I had done, but I didn't feel great and I didn't have as much energy as I would like. And then Today I feel a bit better, but I just feel really tired. But I think yesterday was, I did quite a lot yesterday. So yeah. I had a dog-free afternoon as well because I went somewhere. So she went and was dog sat. So I didn't see her from maybe 1 o'clock until nearly 5:30. I don't know what time I got home. I reckon it was around the 5:30 mark. So that was 4.5 hours without her, and she was happy to see me. It is. Because it's not often she's not with me. Like, she's not with me on Fridays until a certain point because I do the food shopping, and then obviously she goes on dog walks. When she's not walking with me. Why do my eyes look small? It is quite bright. I feel like my eyes are tiny. If anyone's like watching me do that, but yeah, it isn't often she's not with me. Like, huskies, they have separation anxiety, and like they say, like when you get a husky, like literally the husky becomes your life. Like, you have to take your husky everywhere, and you literally do. Like, the maximum, like they say you can leave them for is 3 hours, but they don't recommend you like do that every day unless you've got a second husky. Then you can get away with it a little bit more. But basically, like, the husky like has to go as many places as possible, and if they're not with you, they need to be with someone. Like, you could pop out for an hour, go to the shop, whatever, go home, but if you're regularly out for more than 3 hours a time, then they need to either go to doggy daycare or a dog minder or to someone who's going to look after your dog. You can't just leave huskies just because they have separation anxiety. So we both have anxiety, and I do miss her, but like, it's nice to go and not have to like entertain the dog for a couple of hours because she's being entertained elsewhere. Why do my under eyes look really bright? Anyway, do you want me to quickly address my hair? Because I'll probably forget later on. I did get my hair done. It was, I don't know, do you know what? I used to get it done a lot more regularly. I can't remember when I got it done last. Was it then? Alright, so it was like, I thought it was like, it was nearly 3 months. Like, I didn't think it was that long. But I knew, like, I knew for weeks, like, I'm going to have to get it done soon because my fringe was way too long. I mean, she's cut it shorter than I normally have it this time. I don't mind it too much, but I do prefer it a little bit longer. But in a week or so, it'll be, like, the right length. But I booked it last week. I basically knew when I wanted to have it done, but I had to check she had availability, and luckily she did have one appointment. So I booked it and I knew I was going. I never come on and go, oh, I'm doing such and such. I'm one of those people, I do it and then I say afterwards. You know, people like, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, and they never do it. I'm a doer, not a sayer. And I went and like, and basically, I love my hair, I love the length of it, but I'm bored. And I'm bored, but I don't want short hair and I don't want shorter hair. And I just didn't know what I wanted. And she's like, what we're going to do today? Like, she knew she'd be doing my roots. I mean, and I was like, I don't know. Like, I don't know what I want. Like, and I'm like, do you know what I mean when you're just a bit like, with everything? And she's like, yeah, I get what you mean. I'm like, but I don't want to lose the length because I love the length, but I want something different. And she's like, she's known me for years. Like, she's known me for a long time. And she's like, I got a new toner in the other day. She's like, I tried it on the woman who works, so I'm not going to name her name so people can't Google and try and find out where I go. I don't go anywhere local, by the way. And she like said, oh, come here, I want to borrow your hair. So she came in and she was showing me the toner, and she started with darker shade of blonde than what my hair is, so obviously it's going to look slightly different on her hair to it will on mine. And like, this woman is such a character. Like, she's one of those people who are just happy all the time, and like, do you know what, like, they make fun, like they make everything fun, like they just joke around and they're silly because they're just happy with life and happy with everything. She's like that. Like, when I go and she's there, like, she just makes me just smile the entire time. Even though she's not doing my hair, she's very vocal and she'll interact with you. Even if she's with a client, she'll like get everyone interacting with each other, and she's just like a bundle of energy and a bundle of joy. Like, I just like, because I said to my hairdresser, like, I'd happily work here because I walk in miserable and after 5 minutes, like, I'm happy. So she comes in and she's swishing her hair around and she's like getting up close and she's making me laugh. I went, oh, it's really nice. And my hairdresser also cut her hair, but she had like, she has short hair, like quite short hair. Well, it's not short, it's like shoulder length, but she made it look really good. I'm like, oh, that looks really good. So I decided to go with the toner. I mean, I still had my roots and stuff done, but that's why my hair's a lot brighter in different lights and stuff. And because my hair underneath is my natural hair colour, it's different underneath, the colour that it's come out, but I like it. And then I was like, and also I don't know what I want to do with my hair because I love the length, but I'm like bored. And she's like, she knows like not to like suggest anything radical, because obviously if she like cut into my hair and cut a chunk off, I'd probably be really depressed about it and hate it, and then I'd be like, oh god, I've got to grow it for 2 years. So like, I've had some long layers put in here, and I've had about that much off the back, maybe a bit more. She said like, oh, I'll take an inch off, but it's more like that. And you can tell it's very noticeable, especially like if I didn't have my coat on, you'd see my hair, like it used to cover my chest and now it doesn't. Like, it used to go back that much under and now it's like up here. But I like it, and that's the main thing. And the problem is it's also very straight because she straightens it. I'd really have my hair straight, and I'm actually liking it straight. Normally when I leave and it's super straight, I'm like, oh, I can't wait to put it in a plait, so then it'll have a bit of a kink to it tomorrow. But I didn't even plait it last night. I always sleep with a loose plait, but I didn't plait it. And today it had a bit of a kink in it on one side and I straightened it out. And it's not like me to straighten my hair. And I don't think I'm going to straighten it all the time because, again, it's not really my style anymore. But I'm probably going to straighten it a bit more because I love the colour of it. I think the colour has made me feel a lot more happier, like, in general. Because you don't know how it's going to go. And, like, when we were talking about what she was going to do haircut-wise, I was like, it's probably better, like, when you're cutting it because you know what to do. Like, you could easily describe something to me, but until you're cutting it, you don't really know what to do. And she's like, yeah, we'll see how we go when we're cutting it. But she didn't do anything drastic. She just did the couple of long layers like we talked about. And then she took off more length than she said. But I could see what she cut off because obviously it falls down on your gown, doesn't it? And I'm looking at it and there's this big chunk about that big, like, length. And I knew she took a bit off the sides here as well. And I did have a little bit of light layering around the face before, but I knew I wanted a bit of layering because, like, when she said what should we do, and I went, well, I want a bit of like hair that falls down, so when I put my hair in a plait or whatever, I've got a bit of a bit there. So, and you don't really notice it till you get home. Like, I didn't even notice the colour till today because obviously it was dark, and like when it's dark in the house and it's not natural lighting, you can't really see it. But I kept staring at the length in the mirror and I'm like, do I like it or do I not? And then I'm like, I like it now, but when I washed it and it dries wavy and it's going to be 2 inches shorter, because normally when it dries the way my hair dries naturally, it takes about that much length off, which is about 2 inches. So it's going to be even shorter. So that might make me want to straighten it much more. So, but when I went also, I basically thought she was going to want to take a chunk of length off, because when I went last time, she took about that much off because she said it was, do you know when it gets all really thin at the bottom? I think she could, like, it looks all ratty and stuff. it had done that, and she's like, I need to cut that much off to make it look thicker. And I'm like, oh, I don't know. And then the other hairdresser's like, it'll look a lot healthier and it'll actually make it look longer, and it actually did. So this time I was like, oh god, it's probably gonna need like a good couple of inches off, because I was convinced it was in bad condition. I don't know why. And then she's like, you've got no split ends. And I'm like, what do you mean I've got no split ends? Do you know, like, I've totally convinced myself I had. She's like, no you don't. I went, oh well, you could cut off what it's grown, and it'd grown about an inch, but she took at least 3 inches off. But I don't mind, because I was just getting, do you know when you're bored but you don't want a drastic change, but you want a change of some sort? That's how I felt, but I didn't really know what I wanted, and she knows me well enough to not suggest something dramatic and not do anything too dramatic. And I'm happy with it, but obviously I'm not going to know I'm happy until I wash it early next week, so my happiness might disappear. But I'm very happy with the toner. It was £20 more for the toner, and I used to actually have my hair toned, and I've not had it done in years, because I was like, oh, I used to get my hair toned all the time. Do you know, after we decided on the toner, she's like, oh, you did? Because I used to have like a really, well, there's someone literally parked that side. This is like really awkward now, because when they get out they literally look at the camera. Anyway, I used to have an ashy tone put on my hair, and sometimes she would do a champagne tone, but I preferred the ashy tone, and this is kind of quite ashy and it's quite bright as well, but they do wash out. And she's like, I don't know how long it's gonna last, because it depends on like hair type, how often you wash it, and because my hair's quite dry, it might stick to it like too much, but it might not stick to it. So we'll see how it goes on. If it lasts me 6 weeks, 4 to 6 weeks, I'll be happy. I'm probably gonna like get, like, if it lasts me at least a month, I'll probably go and get it done before I get my hair cut next, and keep it up for a little while, because I just like that you can change your hair by having a toner put on. But anyway, that's the hair address, because if I do film again today, I potentially won't mention my hair, and it might be in a plait later on for the dog walk, so it don't get tangled in my coat. So yeah, and it does look really nice. I like that it's all straight. I mean, it'd be weird if it was crooked, but I just really like my hair, because I was just like, do you know what, I've had 3 inches off. Last time I had like 2 inches off, and like it does grow, obviously, like it's grown a good inch, because I could see the roots. I mean, my hair's quite bright, isn't it? I mean, do you know what, I used to have it this bright all the time, but I was just like, my favourite thing about my long hair is when I have it in a plait, and I can see myself in the mirror side on, and I've got this long plait down my back. Absolutely love that. It's my favourite thing about it. But I've not really been styling it too much, like it's either in a plait or it's in a ponytail or it's down, like, and I want to start doing more with my hair, like I have been, but like when you see me on camera, I'm in the car with it in a plait because I'm about to walk the dog. But that's it, I'm gonna go in the shop. I've been here like 25 minutes and I need to get in the shop. Like, it's quite busy today actually. Bet this is gonna end up for a long video. If I manage to film later on, this will be a long one for me, and I've just talked about my hair for 10 minutes. Well done if you've managed to stay. Here you go, close up. Hi everyone. If you're wondering what that is, it's makeup. I tried to wipe it off yesterday whilst I was sat in the car with a wet wipe, and oh god, there's people running past me. Are you actually sorry, but he ran like, I mean, mean, he has stopped running. I think he might have been slowing down, that's why it looked funny. But he was running like he'd pooed himself. Oh. Talking of running, I have mentioned it in a video that's going to go up Sunday coming up for you. Not Sunday coming up for me, because this should go up Monday. Yesterday, my dog, who is somewhere, had me running. Yeah, running. Now I've got shin pain, really bad shin pain, probably halfway down, especially on my left leg when I'm walking. And my legs are tired as hell, and walking up the stairs is a nightmare. So we were out yesterday on a dog walk, and we managed to do like a 55 minute walk in 37 minutes because the dog had me running a lot. Now I'm not saying I ran the entire walk, because I didn't, and if I did it wouldn't be called a walk, it'd be called a run, but we cut that amount of time off. So I've been like changing up my walks. I've been like going to the same few places, and there's somewhere that I've not been since like the end of October. There's a reason why I've not been there, but I'm not going to get into it in this video. And then I been three times this week. I'm not there now, I've gone somewhere else. And yesterday she was like, we're going to do some running. Me was like, and I have been ill this week, I'm still not 100%, but I was better yesterday than I had been, but I wasn't great. So I'm jogging. First bit, like the first time she got me running, I was jogging. She was trotting along, so she wasn't actually running. I was like jogging, and then did as much as I could. I always stop before I need to. Do you know when you get to that point where you feel like you're going to collapse and die? I stop before that point, because I always carry on walking. I don't stop at all to catch my breath. I carry on walking even if it's painful and I feel like I'm about to fall over. I just carry on. So I had a bit of a jog. She had a bit of a basic trot. And then walking for a couple of minutes, she's like, come on, we're having a run now. So off we go again. Oh, so I had to go again. Then she stopped us because she wanted to sniff something. Then we start going up a hill. She's like, come on, we're running. I don't know why I went with this, but I did, and I ran up this hill and we got just to the top, because I knew I was going to stop at the top even if she didn't stop. I was like, if I get to the top, do you know when you give yourself little goals? You're like, right, I'll get to the top. And by the way, I had wellies on, so it weren't the best footwear. I was on a path, so it worked like I was running on grass, but wellies are not great. And obviously I've got this issue with my legs today now, which even if I had trainers on, I might have, I might not have. Anyway, so we'll get to this top of the hill and she stops, and then she's sniffing, and I'm like, at that point, because I'd gone up a hill, I was like, oh god, I feel like I'm gonna die, but I'll carry on walking. And then she had me running again. About 20 seconds later she had me running again, and I gave up quite quickly because I hadn't got my breath back enough. So then we're walking along and she's like, come on, we're gonna have another run. And I'm like, do you know what you think, why am I going along with this? We didn't run very far because she stopped and had a sniff. So then we walked for a bit, and then we're walking along, had another bit of a run, but she kept stopping because she wanted to sniff. And then we started to, like, she started to get me run again, like maybe like a minute or two later we started running again. And then we start going down this sharp hill, and it's not a big hill, but it's quite like that. I'm running down it and I'm thinking, if she takes off I'm going to end up on my face. And she started to pick up speed, so I'm there with my wellies trying to dig in to stop her, because if I didn't do that, 100% the way she'd set off, I would have just smashed my face on the floor. So then we carry on walking. We did another bit of a run, and then after that point we go onto this muddy path thing that's totally different to a normal path. We've not walked on a normal path since probably October, because we don't go on, I haven't been to that place since October, so part of it's path, part of it's not path. You can stay on the path, but like I don't, I do other things. Anyway, she didn't get me running again until we'd gone through all the muddy stuff. I mean, she did try and get me to run on the mud, but I could barely walk on it. It was too slippy, it was all wet. And then we did a couple more runs. Anyway, get back to the car. She got me to run almost all the way back to the car, but I was like, I'm not running here because there's people around. Like, it's embarrassing. Like, I probably look like I'm deranged when I'm running. And I wouldn't, well, I was running at points, but I was jogging at other points, but I was running. And she kept getting me to go fast, and I'm like, I can't do this. Like, I've got wellies on, I've been ill whole week, got a big coat on, I had a woolly hat on, and she's having me running. And when she tries it today, it ain't happening. I go home, my hair is wet, and then I had to have another shower because I was going out. I mean, I would have had a shower anyway because I'd had a bloody run. Unplanned run, like, I'm not a runner. Like, I can do other exercises. Running is not a bit of me. Like, I have run, I have done races. Nearly killed myself. I once did a race with tonsillitis. I didn't know at that point I had tonsillitis. I had all the symptoms except for the sore throat. Do you know, like the no energy, aching limbs, like really run down, getting a headache, all that. Temperature. Did a bloody run. How many? What was it? Like a 7.2 mile run or something. And then, like, probably that afternoon, the sore throat started, and I'm like, oh, that's why I felt like death. Like, I did this run. Like, what the hell was I doing? Well, I was proving a point that I could do a race. Don't ever tell me I can't do something, because I'll prove you wrong. Because someone said, oh, she won't do it. Yeah, I did 3. I mean, I won't be repeating them. Well, I've actually done more than 3 races in my life, but anyway, looks better now. Obviously, I've had it done. Like, it always looks good. Like, even if I didn't have it dyed and I just went for like a wash went for a wash, for a wet coat, like, it would look a million times better because of what they put on your hair. Because she always puts a treatment on my hair anyway. So there won't be any running today. She tries to run, there's absolutely no chance of it. Like, literally, I would just die. I've got my normal coat on because I just didn't want my overcoat on. It's big, it's heavy. Like, when you pick it up, it's like picking up a bloody bag of stones. Like, when people hold my coat, they're like, what the hell have you got in the pockets? I'm like, nothing. So I had to make sure that I could fit in my pockets what I need for the dog walk, like my absolute essentials. And then I was like, well, I can wear this then. It's not as long, but it's as warm. It's a totally different coat, like type of coat as well. It's just not as long. And I put leggings on. Well, I put my thermal leggings on because I was like, I don't even know what I want to wear. Like, I'm really down at the moment. I'm not gonna get into it. There's 3 people making me feel this way. That is all I'm gonna say. I've been super down, and like, I just don't know what I want. Like, I don't know what I want to wear. I literally don't want to have to make decisions because I don't know what I want. I don't know what to do for the best. I don't know. So I just spotted the leggings. I was like, do you know what? I'll put them on. But the wind has picked up since I was out earlier, because when I left my house, the wind hit me. I was like, oh God, I didn't know it was that windy. But they should keep me warm. It's just the coat's not as long. It's probably like, is it mid-thigh? I don't know if it's quite mid-thigh, but, and the other one's like down to my knees. So there is a difference. I might have to put a hat on because the sun's in and out. I did grab this one. I've got my black one in my bag anyway, because I think it might be a baseball cap moment. Obviously I won't have my fringe like that. I'm just seeing if it suits me. I'm going to go on the walk in a minute. But yeah, I'm obviously not going to be talking about Richard Sambora today, because these videos, like clips, like, they're just getting long now. So I'm going to stick them together. I might do a bit of editing. But the thing is it going to let me save it? Because it's like old footage. Why does my... Is there something wrong with my eye? No. Anyway, I don't know what else you want me to say. I mean, the only problem is my big coat's got my lip balm in. And I don't really want a lip oiler. I'm just rubbing it in as much as I can because this is a lip balm. Because it's windy and I don't want my hair stuck to my lips. Yesterday, we were walking past these 2 women and the dogs, and they were stood to one side, and they were both off the leads, and this woman went, oh, he's really good off his lead now, lets him off the lead, he runs off. So do you know when you want to laugh? Because she's like, oh, he's good off the lead, like he comes back, she's shouting him like crazy, she's doing, like, she had a dog whistle, blowing it like crazy. We carried on walking, and she just got louder and louder, and we kept hearing the whistle. And then 5 minutes later, I saw the dog and it had run behind something and come out further up where we were. I could still hear her screaming and shouting, and I thought she was getting close, so I just left the dog. I weren't going to go to it. It was sniffing something. We carried on the walk, and then we obviously doubled back and came back up, and we're about 15 minutes, 20 at the most. The dog was still in the same place, just sniffing stuff. This bloke said, "Oh, is that your dog?" I went, "No, I think it's some woman's down there that run off before," when she said like it's like very well trained. And he's like, "Oh, I spotted her. She was just blowing that stupid whistle," because all she was doing was blowing the whistle. And I went, "Where is she?" And he told me, and I went, "She was there when he ran off." And I went, "If my dog ran off, not my dad, my dad run off, I would know where to find it. It'd be one of two places." Not gonna say where, but I could easily find my dad. But yeah, and I was like, if I see her, I'll let her know. And like my dog's lead, I could have them on 2 dogs at once. And I was gonna get him to come to me so I could walk him down to her. But I thought, what if she's not there and I'm walking around with this dog? I can't take this dog home with me. So he wouldn't come to me, but he'd basically been in the same place all that time, just sniffing. I thought, well, the chances are he's going to be there when she gets to him. So I'm walking along and she's literally stood in the same place, blowing the whistle, not doing anything. Like, your dog's not going to come back to where you are. The dog don't think, "Oh, I lost my owner there." Like, if a human lost someone, they would trace the steps back, but a dog doesn't think that way. So I was like, "Have you lost your dog?" And I'm like, "He's down such and such." I tried to get him to come to me, he wouldn't. She's like, "Oh, right." And I went, "He's been there the whole time." She went, "Oh, okay." And I went, "Oh, you find him?" She went, "Okay," and just walked off. And I'm like, do you know when you think I shouldn't have even bothered? In fact, if I wouldn't have seen her, I was going to ring the dog warden. There's a little dog that's lost. This is because the sun's out. Watch the sun go in, and I've got a cap on that I don't really want on.